and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Chef Chris. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sick of ordering pizza out. So we're going to take our nice new sourdough starter that's nice and healthy now, and we're going to make pizza dough with it. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with 70 grams of warm water and 7 grams of fresh yeast. And I'm just going to put that in the bowl of a stand mixer. Mix that up for a second with just a pinch of sugar. Just a pinch of sugar to give the yeast something to eat. And we're going to let that sit for a few minutes until it starts to foam. Okay, now that the yeast is bubbling a little bit, we're going to just lift up unlock the thing, put it in there. We're going to mix in 90 grams of our starter, which is nice and bubbling. I'm going to mix that right in there. Going to scrape every nice little last bit in there. We're going to add 453 grams of 00 flour. 00 flour is a very fine pizza flour that's used for making pizza dough. It's the zeros refer to the amount of milling that is done to the flour, so it's a very, very refined, fine flour. And I like to use Caputo brand, which is from Italy. It's very nice. We're going to add 210 grams of cold water, and we're going to lock this in there. We're going to mix this on low speed. It's a very simple recipe. It doesn't require a lot of time to make. Once the dough is formed and rests for a few minutes, we can rest for about 10 minutes, and we can weigh it out into balls and let it rise for a little bit, and then use today, or form them into balls, cover them with plastic wrap, and keep them in the refrigerator until we're ready to use them. So the dough's a fairly sticky dough. Now this is a classic Neapolitan pizza dough. It's a high hydration, which means it has a high proportion of liquid to flour. And that is because Neapolitan pizza is traditionally baked at a very, very high temperature. The Neapolitan pizza ovens, which are generally wood-fired or gas-fired, they can run about 900 degrees, which is super, super hot. It literally cooks in 90 seconds. We're going to be using a home oven, so I did increase the flour proportion in this slightly, so it's a little slightly thicker, heavier dough, but we'll be cooking this at about 550 degrees on a pizza stone. So once the dough it comes together into a nice ball, it pulls away from the sides, we're going to let this rest for 10 minutes. Okay, now that the dough's rested for 10 minutes, I am going to add 10 grams of salt. And we're going to knead that till the salt is just incorporated. Okay, at this point, I'm going to remove the dough from the machine, and we're just going to put it onto the board for a minute. And we're going to knead it just a couple more seconds just to get a feel for it. I'm just going to sprinkle the board very, very lightly. The dough comes right off the hook. I'm going to use a bowl scraper to get the dough out. Flour on my hands. So the dough is a little bit tacky. You can see it sticks to my fingers just a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of knead this for a minute. I like to do the final bit by hand, and you always knead by putting your heel of your hand in, pushing it away, pulling forward, pull it away, pull forward, push, pull, push, pull. I'm not gonna do too much. We're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna form the dough and put it away. Okay, so I'm going to take Chef's Best Friend, which is a fish box. We use these to store everything in the kitchen. Makes a nice sealable container. I'm going to spray it with some liquid canola oil. So we're going to go about 8 ounces, 8.5 ounces each. Yeah, 8.5 exactly. Right like that. We're going to take the edges, we're going to take your fingers up into the center. You're going to tuck the edges kind of around your finger and then tighten it up to a ball. You're going to tighten it like that. It's going to make some tension in the top. And then you're going to just make sure you have a little bit of flour on your fingers. You're going to tuck the edges down and rotate the ball around. And so you get a nice tight ball. Kind of roll it a little bit with the top of your hand. Feels nice. We're going to put this right in here. Again, we're going to repeat the process with the next one. It's almost making like a big dinner roll. Alright, we're going to put these about 3 inches apart. I'm going to stagger them a little bit. We'll have a nice smooth ball of dough. That'll make a nice round pizza. That is that. We're going to let those rest now. We're going to come back tomorrow and form some pizza.